Sweet revenge for former Dallas Cowboys and now New Orleans Saints defensive coordinator Rob Ryan, who watched the other side of the ball, led by Drew Brees, score 49 points on the Cowboys. Final score, 49-17. Cowboys fall to the Saints. In this game, the Saints set an NFL record with 40 first downs. Drew Brees had 396 yards passing and 4 touchdowns. He hit Kenny Stills for a 55-yarder to break it open in the second half. Many might say that the turning point in this game was when Darren Sproles scored from 29 yards out on a screen pass, giving the Saints a 28-7 lead going into halftime. It might have been 28-10. However, I feel the turning point was when Cowboys linebacker Sean Lee got injured. Once that happened, there was nothing to stop the Saints from picking up those 40 first down. This guy is one of the most viable defenders despite the Cowboys' overall lack of defense. He's in the right place at the right time. He gets key turnovers, and when he was out last year, you saw the difference. So if his pulled hamstring isn't ready for next week going to the Meadowlands against Eli Manning and the Giants, that could be trouble for the Cowboys. There was one saving grace for Dallas, and that was DeMarco Murray. When the game was still close in the first quarter, he was gashing the New Orleans Saints defense for chunks of yards. But what happens to every offense when they come into that Superdome is the quarterback's got to keep up with Drew Brees, and that never happens. It's not just Tony Romo who doesn't live up to the task. Every other quarterback in the NFL, anyone who steps foot in that building, seems to suffer the same fate, no matter how good the Saints are that year. I mean, they lost to the Jets last week to Geno Smith and Rex Ryan. And there's just no explaining how good this team is at home. So if the NFC Championship has to go through New Orleans, which I don't think it will, that could be trouble for the other teams. Mark Ingram had a good game today, 145 yards rushing and a touchdown on only like 16 carries. So he was excited about his performance, and you could tell he was all fired up. The ex-Heisman Trophy winner from Alabama. But you can't expect too many 100-yard games when you're a running back in this system. They like to give the ball to Darren Sproles. You've got Pierre Thomas, but mostly you've got Drew Brees distributing the ball in the passing game. So it's not about stats when you're a Saint. It's about Sean Payton, Drew Brees, and just an electrifying offense who went well over 400, maybe 500 yards again in this game. Drew Brees, 396 yards, 4 touchdowns, 49-17. Saints over the Bucks. Saints over the Cowboys. As for Dallas, they're still in the division hunt. They've dropped to 5-5 in a tie with the Philadelphia Eagles. However, Dallas, if they go into Week 16, a game behind the Eagles, they still clinch the division with a win, virtue of a tie-breaking scenario. So if you're the Eagles, you need to really start winning your home games. As far as the Saints, they have some heavy competition in their division because the Carolina Panthers have woken people up. Their defense went into the 49ers stadium today and came out with a 10-9 victory. They're for real. In the playoffs, defenses tend to rise to the top, and the Saints may not be able to score as prolifically against a Panther-like defense. Could it be Panthers-Chiefs in the Super Bowl? A defensive struggle in the blustery winds of MetLife Stadium? I don't know. I hope not, because I'm an Eagles fan. So there you have it, 49-17. 40 first downs and 4 touchdowns for Drew Brees. Saints over the Cowboys.